I just finished watching Wicked, and today we are going to be breaking it down for you with spoilers ahead. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with many YouTube channels. Typically, I upload these types of videos like 1 or 2 days afterwards, but no, I literally just came back from the movie theater, hopped in the shower. I think my beard's still a little bit wet. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but regardless, we're here. We're talking about Wicked. So this is probably going to be a little bit of a different review from what you would typically hear on the subject, because I'm somebody who absolutely despises musicals. Now, before you click off the video, I can appreciate all the hard work that goes into it. The singing is fantastic. I can't imagine how difficult it is to work around that choreography, okay? I have all of the respect in the world for it. It's just not my thing. I just don't like it. In saying that, though, out of all the musicals that I've seen, and I still haven't seen Joker, I've heard that one was beyond awful, I still didn't like this one, but there were some really good takeaway moments. And We'll talk about it, man, because there's not really anything I can break down from a plot point, because they broke out in a song every 5 seconds, and that's why it's a little bit difficult to make this song, or video, excuse me. But I did want to start with the casting, because there were some things that I was thinking about, like, during the movie, when I was talking to my wife before the movie. So initially, I did not like the casting of the two main characters. I'm talking about the Wicked Witch, I'm talking about Ariana Grande. I know it's my own personal issue, but I always have issues with a well-established character or somebody super, super famous, like a common problem that people have with The Rock. I look at these people in the movie and I think, okay, that's The Rock. I don't get invested into that character. I just look at him as The Rock. The same issue I'm going to have with Maui in the How to Train Your Dragon live action. It's not going to be Maui. It's going to be The Rock. Is that my own hiccup? Absolutely it is. But I've also had that issue with Ariana Grande, but she surprised me. She surprised me because while I didn't completely get over it, I thought she played her character super, super well. Like the stuck-up dumb girl, kind of like how she played in Victoria. She kind of like rolled back to that role that she had, and I thought she did a phenomenal job doing it. A couple times, actually, she had me laughing. In particular, she made an artichoke joke towards the witch, and the other one is when it's oddly specific, but you know when she kind of just like over-exaggerated and flopped down on the bed when she was disappointed. I enjoyed that stuff. She made me laugh a couple times. And the other girl, man, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I don't know the actress's name. I didn't like her at the beginning because she didn't look like the Wicked Witch. She didn't look creepy. She didn't look ugly. She just looked like a regular girl with like green face paint on. She stole the show, man. And you want to talk about the singing? Not only was she a good actor, and this is so impressive. And I always have a hard time using the word impressive because who am I to really impress? But at the end of the day, I did feel impressed. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? I don't mean to come off for like I'm like some like incredible movie reviewer. No, I just like to talk about the things that I watched, okay? But it was beyond impressive what she did. Not only did she capture the entire theater scene, not only did she shine in every single moment, not only did she beat Ariana Grande in the vocals, she completely steamrolled her. And Ariana Grande is a very, very well-respected, very talented singer. She's fantastic at what she does. I like a lot of her songs. It wasn't even close. She blew Ariana Grande out of the water, and I wasn't familiar with this. And on top of that, I probably should have mentioned, I've never watched Wicked before, so I didn't know what was even going to come. I particularly loved the first song when the Wicked Witch started singing, and the last song, while the singing, like the songs that were made weren't exactly my cup of tea, the power and vocals that she's able to bring is second to none. Like I would go as far to say that she has one of the best voices, not only in Hollywood, but the entire world. And now something my wife ended up bringing my attention to was apparently they're trying to make this like as close to Broadway as possible. I take that with a grain of salt. It's coming from my wife, and I would imagine that she's accurate in saying that. I just don't know for sure because I have such a difficult time believing it, where the voices weren't doctored at all. They weren't edited. They were performing it like it was an actual play because they wanted it to be exactly like Broadway. I have a very, very difficult time imagining people's voices being that perfect throughout the movie. And I know that they take breaks, obviously, between scenes, but it just, the idea of releasing a movie and not having the voices doctored at all is very difficult for me to believe. I don't care what they say. Like, I don't really believe it. Regardless, if she sounds anything remotely like she did in the movie, man, like, I don't know what to say. She's one of the best ever. And I might as well talk about this now because I was talking about, like, doctoring the voices. An issue I've always had when talking, like, and I've had this conversation with my wife a lot, and again, all the respect in the world to people who love musicals, okay? My issue with the musicals is kind of the idea and the approach that people bring to them. Like, I know they built an entire set and they didn't use CGI for that castle or whatever at the beginning of the movie. I look at that and I go, okay, I don't care because that doesn't make the movie better. I can appreciate all of the hard work and dedication and, again, choreography, everything that went into it. I can respect in the world. I can't imagine how difficult it was. And honestly, the grind is more respectable. But it doesn't make the movie better. It doesn't make me go, okay, that was awesome. I literally use the same analogy with my wife. And I know it might sound stupid, but that's how I personally feel about it. And I'd love for you guys to comment down below if you disagree with me. Where I live, Toronto's about 5 hours away, okay? I was like, okay, you can drive to Toronto and I can run to Toronto. What's more respectable to do? What's like cooler to do? What took more hard work? Obviously, it was the run over there. But does that make it better? Absolutely not. And that is the issue that I have with everybody always talking about these movies. Because the structure of the story, while it was good, it does not compare to a lot of things that have come out recently. Like I just watched, just randomly off the top of my head, I just watched A Wild Robot. I thought that story was infinitely better. But then everybody who likes these types of movies will come back and be like, well, you got to respect the grind. What about the costumes? What about the set design? What about how it was all natural singing? I'm like, I don't care. It has nothing to do with comparing it to other movies. I hope you guys kind of understand what I'm talking about it there. And again, it's very, very important to note, I have all of the respect in the world for it. They are doing something with their careers and something very respectable that they're more successful than I arguably ever will be in my life. I just personally really, really don't like it. And the only other thing that has really taken me out of this is, yeah, unfortunately, like, it just brings you back to like the theater kids in high school days where you have a song that's like so structured, so good, like you're enjoying the music, and I don't know if this is my own personal gripe with these types of things, but you know, and obviously I'm a horrible singer. I can't really do it, and my baby's sleeping, so I'm not going to do it really loud, but it's like, they'll be like, and then they'll take that where like it's a really solid note hitting like really hard, it's looking really good, and they'll go, you know, like just showing that the fact that like they can, and I know that was part of the choreography, but it takes me out of the moment. It makes me look at them, and it makes me think of those theater kids from back in the day. Note, very, very important note, you may have done theater in your life if you're watching this. I'm not talking about you if you are a normal person. You know what types of people I'm talking about. The people who just need to show off their voice. You know, those theater kids, okay? Very, very important for you, just because you did theater, to not get butthurt in this video. There's lots of really normal and awesome people who do theater. But there's just things like that that really, really take me out of the moment. But the only thing that really, really hit home was the ending. It was fantastic, even with those voice, like, I don't even know what to call it, like voice riffs, something like that. Man, stole the show. Storyline, though, very, very difficult to actually break down this storyline because, again, they broke in a song all the time, and I feel like that disconnected me from what was going on because, like, they could be having a conversation and be like, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. Like, it would make me want to click off that video. But again, this is not for me personally, right? That's the issue I'm having with breaking this down. This movie was not made for somebody like me. But for the story, I thought it was awesome, the idea. And I've never seen Wicked, so I didn't even know that the Wicked Witch was going to be portrayed as a good person. And throughout the movie, because she was being so pleasant, kind, she's picking up the flowers for a professor, things like that, I sat back and I actually looked at my wife. I was like, well, isn't she supposed to be a bad guy? She's like, that's the point of the movie. And I'm like, oh, that's actually a pretty good take on the Wicked Witch. I like what they did. I like how everybody else ended up actually being the bad guys. And now you look at the story of The Wizard of Oz, everything kind of makes sense. The dynamic between the main actress and Ariana Grande were absolutely perfect. Again, like I talked about at the beginning of the movie, it's very, very difficult for me to get over the idea of just like such a famous actress and not looking at her like Ariana Grande. While I still kind of did, she did such a good job acting that I didn't care. There were points where I was just looking at her as the character that she was playing, and that is awesome. And I personally always forget that Ariana Grande isn't just a good singer. She's actually a really incredible actress too. Like, she is really, really good at what she does. And again, it's all the more impressive that the main character, the Wicked Witch, outshined Ariana Grande. That is so difficult to do. And again, it's nothing but straight up impressive. Other than that, though, the sets were great. The costumes were great. Everything everybody talks about with these Broadway types of plays, it's really, really well done. Again, my only issue with it is when everybody compares these to all of these other movies. Like, you could take something like, for example, my favorite movie of all time is Avengers Infinity War. If that tells you anything right now, that this is not my cup of tea, right? Like, I like action, CGI, all that. When you start comparing all of this, I go, all right, nah, I like the story of Thanos better. Oh, but you gotta respect, like, the fact that there was no CGI in this specific part of the movie. I'm like, that has nothing to do with how good the movie was. It's a really respectable thing to do. That's awesome. I just don't get why you would do it in the first place. Is it cheaper? I don't know. I can't imagine it's cheaper than actually like building a whole type of castle. But the way I still see this movie is it was a musical. For a musical, it was an incredible musical. And if musicals are your thing, then this movie is absolutely going to shine. My wife said it was one of the best movies she's ever seen. Musicals are, I wouldn't even say that musicals are her thing. She enjoys a wide variety of movies. And she said that's one of the best movies she has ever seen. Apparently they adapted, they translated whatever they did from Wicked, the Broadway show, over to the big screen perfectly. Again, I've never seen Wicked. This is absolutely going to be a major hit, unlike Joker. Another thing that I really liked is we knew what to expect. Take notes, Joker. We knew what to expect. Everybody was like all excited for Joker to be a sequel to like one of the greatest movies that has come out in a long time. And all of a sudden, there we go. It's a musical. I think it just takes away from the storytelling. It becomes more of a show, but that's the issue. Wicked was trying to be a show. As far as I'm aware, I don't think that they were really trying to have like an outstanding story or anything like that. Like the story was present. The story was still really good. I just think it was more about the vocals, the choreography, the dancing, the costumes. I believe that's the goal of it. So it did really well for what it tried to do. I don't have a shadow of a doubt that this is going to be majorly successful because, again, what they tried to do, they did perfectly. Again, just not for me, and it's very important that, and I can see this happening, people getting butthurt in the comments down below. I respect all of the work that went into it. I respect the people who love musicals. It's just something that I personally don't like and can never really get into. I was enjoying the story until they broke out in the song, but even then, the girl singing did such a good job that she actually pulled me in a little bit. I wasn't enjoying the music because, again, I don't like the type thing and just like the random dancing. I feel like I'm watching a Disney movie sometimes. But again, I understand how I'm coming off right now. And the last thing I want to come off is like a DICK. That's why I'm having a difficult time talking about this, because it's truthfully not how I feel. I don't mean to disrespect any of the work that went into this. Again, just not for me personally. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to keep watching the channel, YouTube thinks you like this video the best. I would love to have you guys over there. Take care, everybody.